And welcome to the podcast for this week, people. Cooper, before we get underway, a couple of things. You've been sort of into me, aggravating a little bit of late in the last 2 weeks regarding Attila and his origins.
Well, you said on the last couple of weeks of podcasts, you keep talking about Attila the Hun being from Hungary because the Huns were from Hungary.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of our listeners got in contact saying 2 geographical things that you've gotten wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently the Huns weren't from Hungary, and which we later found out they actually were, so you were right with that.
Thank you.
But Dagestan and Chechnya, they're two different places.
Okay.
So you must have said that they're the same place.
So it sits in the Caucasus. So in that area, you've got the Russian Empire, then you've got Dagestan, you've got Chechnya, and you've got Georgia, all in that area. Okay, I'll take that. Attila the Hun, Trish, could you help me out? Where did Attila? Can you?
Yeah, I can tell
You're saying
you.
the Huns are from Hungary.
Attila's empire extended from the northern Caucasus to the upper Danube River, encompassing the Great Hungarian Plain.
Well,
That's very vague.
It's very broad.
Encompassing.
It's broad, but that was the world back in those days.
Yeah.
The second one, Trish. Let's Cooper, can we just move on to the fact that we've been waiting here for half an hour? Where you been?
I was getting a coffee with my great friend, the Ches man, DCE.
Oh, how's DCE going, by the way?
He's good. He's good. Do you know
Has
what?
he found a new home for next year?
What?
Did he happen to drop that?
Trish, even if he did, I wouldn't tell you that.
I was trying to catch it off guard.
You got loose
Where
lips.
Where do your loyalties lie?
With my
Are they
friends.
with Daly Evans, or are they with family and the podcast?
No, with my friends.
No, Cooper's a loyal friend.
I'm a
Don't
friend
back
man.
him up, Trish.
It's true though.
I'm a friend man. I would if Chez's next contract was inside my vein, I would cut it out and pull it out of there to give to him. That's how loyal I am to my friends.
That's a strange one.
Been
That's
going
a
on
really odd
37
one.
at night.
We
Brett.
don't.
So how's he going, by the way?
He's good, mate. He's a friend of the podcast. He's going good. Do you know what was funny? I was thinking about this on the drive home just then. So we had Brandon Smith on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, right? And she spoke about when he signed with Souths, it was big news for a day because the next day Dylan Brown signed with Knights on the biggest contract ever.
Of course.
And then Dylan Brown was in the media for a couple of weeks. And then the biggest news turned into Ches saying he wasn't going to play at Manly anymore. So then Dylan Brown would have been like, phew, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
And then this week, the Lachlan Galvin news has come out. And it just keeps getting the baton keeps getting, it's like a 100-metre, it's like a 400-metre relay in rugby league.
As someone once said to me, today's news is tomorrow's
fish and chip
chip wrap.
Jeez, you know, Banjo.
Thank you, Henry
Potato
Lawson.
chip, whatever.
Bush power. The
Just
bush power.
chips.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, put
Something
that on.
fried.
Put that shit on a t-shirt
Well, this
with
is
her
what happens.
stuttering.
Actually, I like that.
In my excellent article today, I wrote that.
I love how you
But
said.
Dylan Brown-
I love how you said excellent.
Yeah.
My very
Mate,
excellent.
the feedback I've been getting has been extraordinary. But I wrote the fact that as far as Dylan Brown signing, it's like a house in your street that goes for record price and sends the market into a frenzy. His contract has sent the playmaker market into a frenzy. There's all these different things that are going on. We saw the Daly Evans one, and then
All the
we
halves.
are seeing this where without Dylan Brown, there is no way in the world that a young playmaker, 19 years of age, gets offered $6 million over 5 years and then rejects it.
Yeah.
Now, okay, who's the next person going to be? Right, I think the next person's going to be who the Tigers go after next. And you know who I reckon it'll be? You know what I reckon will start a lot of talk around? Adam Reynolds to the Tigers.
No way.
That's my prediction.
Wow.
I reckon
I don't know. I
there'll be
think it's-
speculation.
You think that's where the baton's getting passed on
The
next?
only thing is Renault apparently loves it in Brisbane.
Yeah,
Says
exactly.
he won't return.
You've
But
been good to him.
if the Tigers give him 2
Into each
years of
other.
massive money,
But this is the thing. If we're using an analogy of a relay, there's only ever 4 runners in it. So have we reached the end of the rugby league relay?
No, because
Nah.
like,
'Cause we're only-
you need more than that.
the rugby league relay just keeps going on. There ain't no finish, bruh.
Rugby
Bruh.
league.
You know what's
The
weird?
gift that keeps
We're only at round 7.
I know.
We're only at round 7, and we've had enough stories this year to fill up a whole year.
Yeah.
It's getting freaky out
What
there,
about
bros.
Toby Sexton? Toby Sexton could be the next one, Cobber.
Oh, like a
Mate,
scandal.
Friend of the show, Toby Sexton.
You know what
Been-
we're-
I feel sorry for him. He's been playing extraordinary football.
You know what?
Extraordinary.
He has. He's awesome. You know what I've been off like all the scandals are just to do with contracts and people signing and stuff. Where's all the good old fashioned scandals?
Let's hope that they've
Sorry?
improved.
You know,
they've gotten better.
all this business contract stuff, that ain't rugby
People
league.
shitting in hallways.
Where's someone going out the front of all these, calling someone out?
Sloshy shit and shoveling shoe.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, guys, a question. If you had a theme song which played every time you walked into a room, what would it be?
I had Europe's The Final Countdown.
Why?
I find
in
it
your last legs.
Yeah.
I find it inspiring. I think it's
Da-na-na-na.
yeah. I find it really inspiring. I feel like it's that song comes on and no one has a bad thought in the room. I think everyone
I do.
thinks what's coming.
It's the build. It's the music build up
Yeah,
for
but
it.
you hate Van Halen's Jump. What's wrong with Van Halen's
It's
Jump?
been destroyed by
much.
Triple M.
I feel like Van Halen's Jump, I was thinking this the other day, when it seems like almost a push for people to jump off a cliff.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like, might as well jump.
Yeah.
It sort of seems like
Except-
something.
I don't think so. I think it's more an analogy of take the risk, do what you want to do.
Well, I interpret it
Do
is
what you
in
wanna
the
be. Yeah.
yeah,
I interpret
well,
that-
I hope not,
in the wrong way.
because I don't think people should jump off a cliff.
Because David Lee Roth was a free climber. He's a free climber. Well, he used to when he was younger. You know, free climbing, you go up there. and all
David
you-
Lee
No,
Roth, by the
strap.
way, for people, was the lead singer, the original lead
And you know
singer
what he
of
is
Van
now?
Halen.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's a paramedic now.
He's a paramedic. He's a paramedic.
I think we've mentioned
Don't know
it
if I'd
before.
actually liked him reviving me because I've seen him. He looks a little.
I think it'd be comical.
Oh, he's very tremendous.
Imagine that you're near death and go,
I'd rather him than one of the members of Motley Crue. I think you got a better chance with
Hey, can I ask you guys, if you're not gonna wear the your headphones, make sure you speak into the mic because you can't hear.
am
the
I not
feedback.
speaking?
No, you used to, but you keep fading in and out. So I just want to make
Okay.
sure the listeners in the car can hear us.
Good call.
Good
Good call. Yeah. Van Halen. So, David Lee Roth was a free climber. He would climb these cliff face, Trish. All he had were gloves and a little, like a pick.
Oh,
they had, he's very famous for
nightmare.
that.
Yeah, that's
Go ahead.
dangerous.
It's like that bad dream you have when you're falling. Ugh, free falling.
So you know what nationality Europe were?
You know what? I'm going to go with
Was it in Europe?
they be
I
Europe.
would
They
say
be
so.
Europe.
It's got that sound.
Yeah, mate.
I'm going to go with they are.
Anytime will do.
Anytime will do. I'm going to go with they're Slovacs.
I'd say Sweden.
Trish?
I'm going something Nordic. I'm going to go Norwegian.
They're Swedish.
Yeah. Same as ABBA.
ABBA, Aha, Roxette,
Yeah.
the Hives.
Did I get that right? Slovacs?
Slavic, yeah.
Slavic.
Slovakia.
Slavic. I think I might have gone Slovacs.
Slovakia.
Slavics.
Well,
right.
Slavics takes in all those Slavic countries, naturally.
Do you like Volks?
I wonder if someone's going to have something
Sorry.
to say about that.
Did anyone else have a walkout? Trish?
I've got one.
Yeah, say it.
Trish?
Okay, good. My good man Tavares. Heaven must be missing an angel.
I don't even.
Oh.
Don't even,
Like that?
don't even know it.
Boom. That's a mic drop. Did.
I've
Heaven
I've got one
must
for
be
you.
missing an angel.
I've got one for you.
I must be an L.
I didn't ask you.
Should
for
be
one.
Your body
yours.
is a wonderland. Yeah. I've been checking Trish out of late, just going, that much.
Yeah, your
You get my-
testosterone, bros, through the
That's
roof.
wrong.
No, it's true though, haven't
That's
I?
not appropriate.
It's a bit.
Look at the look on Jack's
We're
face right
married.
now.
It's just,
He's
especially,
mortified.
especially after last week's chat around what happened in his house.
Yeah.
Yeah, you be careful. I had
Which is
I had-
nothing.
I had moody blues for you.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one.
After the day you've had, really? Okay,
There's
awesome.
been circumstances around me putting up with turds all day. Sorry, Coops, did you have yours? Have you done yours yet?
No, I haven't. Not yet. Lips of an Angel, Hinder.
Do you want to give me a
why
tune?
you calling me so late?
You're into those like dirt
Yeah.
bands.
I'm
like
into. I love those. I've got a new playlist I've actually just made on my Spotify. If you want to go follow it, people. It's called Divorced Dads, and it's
okay.
like
Interesting.
it's like it's a playlist for what I imagine that divorced dads would listen to after their wife leaves them.
Right.
So I've got obviously that by Hinder, Lips of an Angel, 20 Good Reasons by Thirsty Merc,
I love that song.
Yeah.
Far Away by Nickelback, Photograph by Nickelback, Lift by Shannon Knoll, Iris
Jesus.
by the Goo Goo Dolls,
It's money. A lot of these songs are actually
Yeah.
demotivating.
The Reason, Huber Stank.
How's that one go?
That's low.
And the reason is you.
Oh my God. People don't listen to that. Fellas,
Buzz, they
You
do.
know what?
Feedback.
Just go and have a little have a little run or something.
Go for a
Do
run.
some
I don't
adrenaline.
mind
Feedback.
that.
Here without you, 3 doors down. Push, Matchbox 20.
What about Father's Day by weddings, parties, anything?
No, hero, Chad Kroger.
Oh,
I
that's
had
a
this
great
one
song.
for you. It's Cigarettes, Whiskey, and Wild Wild Women by the Sons of the Pioneers.
You're picking songs that
I don't know
never
what
even
that
heard.
is.
The song I've picked for you is by the great Hank Williams Sr., which was "There's a Tear in My Beer."
I've
I'm
never
just thinking about sitting there on a Friday.
never
My
heard
multi
that.
didn't get up. Everybody's against me.
Yeah. Thanks for
and
your
I'm watching
multi-tip.
BJ Thomas and just tears rolling into my beers.
Buzz, you
Yeah, you
should.
tipped last week. I lost my money.
What was the tip again?
The multi,
Nico, 2
Nico,
tries.
and even just one try I went. I
They,
didn't want to
they
be
did
greedy.
win into the you had it
But
into the
Nico-
Sharks winning,
Yeah.
which I think they were
Sharks
good.
won.
They were in good stead, but you just missed out the double try scorer.
Lockie, mate,
single.
Nico this week. Just quickly, Lockie Galvin situation. Lots been said about this. You know what?
No, we lift people up on this podcast. We don't strip people down.
Oh,
Not that
okay.
we, not literally. Oh, but you about to strip him down?
No, it wasn't. Absolutely not. He's been on the show before. I really like him. He was an 18-year-old kid and he came in. He looked younger than 18.
How old is he now?
19.
Oh God, he's a baby.
Yeah,
His
he only came
baby.
in last year.
Yeah.
He looks like he's in a boy band. He's got striped he's got the spiky hair and the goatee.
Yeah.
He looks like Chad Kroger. He could be on the
I'm
divorce.
reading reports that the senior players now are sort of backing off a little bit, going, okay, we probably went a little bit hard on him.
Yeah, it's hard when
Yeah.
you're at that age too. Who's making good decisions at 19 years old? Really, at the end of the day,
No.
like
I was.
even if it's a bad or right decision, like really, people should be pretty.
Yeah, and I mean, at some point or another, they're all going to have to make a decision based on what's best for them.
Yeah,
I mean, the Tigers have been dudded, in my opinion, but it's not all Lockie. There's lots of things that go on.
Also, who cares? Guess what? It's a business. He can do whatever he wants.
That's it.
And let me tell you something. For clubs who think that players owe them anything, they don't, because those clubs, they be quick to flick them on as quickly as they signed them. Exhibit A, I was a young prodigy coming through. I had the world at my fingertips. And then I let that all go to pursue a beautiful career in the media.
In your face, Frank Panisi.
Let's ignore Cooper's shit chat for a second. In fairness, though, to the Tigers fans, because obviously they're all very, very disappointed.
Yes.
But there is a positive out of it. There's $1 million there to work with. They can get someone pretty good to partner up with Jerome, I think.
The money they're going to spend, he's on 250 at the moment, Jack. Well, it's going to be interesting if they make him stay the 18 months. I don't think they will. I think he'll go at the end of this year. I don't support him being dropped. I don't. Like the senior players, I believe, went to Benji and said, but, at
Did
the
they,
end
though?
of the day.
Did they, though?
No, they're saying they did. Yeah.
Conspiracy.
Who would know?
But
Well,
at the end
no,
of
I just don't believe anything you read or hear.
Yeah,
well, I
don't-
write in the
because-
papers.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's
Point
true,
proven.
though.
Point proven.
Yeah.
Like, I read often things I know for a fact are incorrect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dad,
but-
your article's non-fiction.
Yeah, true.
It is non-fiction. That's right. But I think.
Did I get that? Did I
Did
get
you
that
say-
wrong?
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
You said-
Fiction is made up, man.
Fiction.
Oh, it's a fiction. I used to
Fiction
get
is
that.
pretend.
I always get that confused when
Are
I
you
used
serious?
to walk. Yeah, when I was a kid,
Yes.
even like fiction and non-fiction. I always thought non-fiction would be the fake one because it's like non-real.
Yeah. No.
But like,
No,
why
fiction is made up.
Yeah, but why would they do that?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So I heard Penthouse Forum. Apparently the editor writes all those. I was
Yeah.
like, what? What? You're telling me it's fiction?
Oh, well, are they the stories that
Yeah.
the guys write in?
Yeah. Well, people write in about things that. Anyway, but Lockie Galvin, there's talk that they did. The senior players went there and said we don't want to play alongside him. I don't support that because, in my opinion, the Tigers are in a position to play finals. I think they're a very, very good chance, and they're a far better chance if Lockie's playing good football.
Has
than
he
if
been
Lockie's-
playing good football?
He has, as opposed to playing New South Wales Cup. I totally get where the Tigers are coming from. It'll be a difficult couple of months for Lockie because they're going to air they're going to let him know their anger and their disappointment and their frustration. They've got every right to. My advice to Lockie would be, don't worry about it. You put a statement out. I wouldn't worry about statements. Lockie, the next time you pull that jersey on, be the best player in the field and get the Tigers to the finals. That's what you do.
Hooroo.
That's what you do, brother.
Wow.
That's how we roll.
Yeah, and if
God, I feel like crying.
and if you're listening, Lockie, We support you, which I'm sure he is. I reckon he's a fan of the podcast, Lockie. So he listens every week.
Does he?
He listens to the family
And I'd
podcast
just
every
like
week.
to say to people, just remember, he's a 19-year-old boy.
Yeah,
Good
I
call,
know.
Trish.
He can't
He is.
even guess
He's
what.
someone's son.
You know-
and he could be yours. That's what I'd like to point out to people. And that includes West
on.
Tigers supporters.
Exactly. And this kid's so young, he couldn't even have a beer in America. Let's just keep that into perspective for people. That's a young kid. If he was in America, he couldn't have a schooner.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Could not have, that's the mark. That is the most salient point that's been made.
Salient.
If you wouldn't abuse a kid that couldn't drink a beer yet, don't abuse him.
I've said that often. The moment you can drink a beer legally in America, then mate, all bets are off.
All bets are off.
You're right there. There's a target on your head, and we're coming for you.
Yeah.
You know
Throw
what my
glass at
saying
him.
is?
What is it?
Before you go ahead and make comment or treat someone poorly, just remember that could be your child. And then think about how you treat them.
Nicely, Trish. Put that on a bumper sticker. It only if it'd fit on the bumper.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a little worried.
She's very wordy
Can I
today.
just say? I just want to say this to Trisha.
What?
The back end of last week, Trisha decided she went, you know what? I'm going to take a vow of silence. She did it for 24 hours. And I must say,
Was it good?
It was nice. I'm going to try and do it
No,
once
I
a
meant, was
week.
it good for you, Dad?
I think it was good for everyone.
it was good. It was good for everyone because by someone walking into a room, and I understood and acknowledged and respected the fact that Trish decided to take a vow of silence. I didn't try to engage in conversation. I just let her float by like a fickle butterfly.
I've got an idea for us. I think once a week from now on, one person should be nominated to have a vow of silence for that day. It can be the person who's annoying everyone the most.
Yeah, I'll just vote you. Yeah,
No,
maybe do it now.
Honestly, I can't tell you how nice it is sometimes just not to speak.
Yeah. I hope, we wouldn't do it on a podcast recording day because
No.
for one of us to just not talk on the
Yeah,
podcast.
that probably wouldn't
But
work.
I think it'd be a good, say Jack's annoying us all. Then we say, hey, Jack, today it's your vow of silence. You want to talk to someone, you can only message them.
I have
You
to-
definitely know that I'd be the only one here that'd probably be pretty comfortable with the day of silence.
Yeah. Oh, I would too.
I don't know about that, Jack.
I think I would.
It's harder than you think. And the other thing is, you can't really leave the house if you do it or go anywhere social. Because I was going to go down the street and I thought, I can't really because I can't go and ask for anything at the newsagent. And if I bump into someone that I know, I'm not going to be able to say hello and they're going to think I'm rude.
So you didn't talk to anyone in general, not just the family?
No, just no one.
Oh, wowzers,
I've
wowzers.
got a ploy you can use. I do it quite a bit. If I go for a bit of a walk and, you know what, I'm not really feeling it, I put my earbuds in and then when someone's coming the other way, who I know, I'll go, yeah, mate, yeah, I've got that. Yeah, good. Oh, g'day. Hey, Steve. How you going, mate? Yeah, good. I'm just on the phone. Yeah, and
You're still breaking your vow of silence.
You're talking about
I try.
Yeah. Do you know what? I knew someone, you know what they used to do? Every time, at the front of a store or shop or a business, there'd be, whether it's Surf Life Saving or Some Appeal where they want you to sign up and pay for, donate, they'd pretend they were on the phone as they're walking by so they wouldn't rope them in.
Oh, yeah, get that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had a guy. There was
They annoy the shit out of me, those people.
Yeah.
I had a teammate once. We trained right next to a Woolworths across the road. Not going to be hard to figure out where it is.
Yeah.
And Trish is about to say it. And we were going into the Woolworths after training one day, and there was a lady there for WWF. You know the
Well, is that the wrestling?
Yeah.
No, it's a wildlife.
Yeah, they made them change the wildlife.
I thought that was World Wrestling Federation.
I'll take Ric Flair over an emu.
Yeah.
They got they have the panda symbol. And,
That's exactly right.
A lady asked him, and he proceeded to then go on a massive story for about a minute about where he goes over to Africa once a year and slaughters animals.
Oh, no.
And this person was
no.
so horrified. And then, one way.
They made it up though, right?
That's one way to get them off your back for the week while they're at the front. But
Pretty sure he was joking.
Yeah, he was joking, obviously. But there's that way of getting rid of them. Just act like you're completely against them.
You're on the other side. Well, once, famously, or maybe not famously, David Suzuki. You know,
He was a photographer?
But he was a wildlife in wildlife
conservation.
particularly whales. And he went on a radio show in Australia. And David Suzuki, and he was talking about the whales. And one of the people in the studio just thought it'd be funny to go, I actually hate whales. I harpoon them.
Oh, Jesus.
Right? And David Suzuki just turned and just completely walked out of the
as
studio.
you would,
As you
should.
would.
Yeah.
It's very
As you
disrespectful.
would, because
It's not
whales,
funny.
it's not funny at all. And whales are such gentle beasts, like the humpback whales.
Have you ever,
many of them.
have you ever seen a whale in
Sperm
person?
whale.
Yeah, I have. I've seen a whale in person.
Me
Yeah,
and Trish nearly paddled over the top one
I
day.
know, at the front of our place, yeah.
yeah.
We're on paddle boards.
I mean,
Shout out
go-
to Big
We
Wave.
didn't see them.
Shout out to Big Wave Dave.
But
Oh.
killer whales are dangerous. They're the most dangerous. I think
Are they?
orcas,
Thanks.
aka killer whales, they're the apex predator in the ocean.
Yeah,
Are
they're very intelligent too. I
Bros.
saw something where if they're chasing there was
Seal.
there was a seal where not the singer but the animal
Okay, good to
jumped
know.
on top of like a iceberg island, and in pairs they were going underneath it
Oh.
very fast, very close to underneath the iceberg to make it rock. So then the seal would come off,
Yeah.
and
Oh, poor
they'd
stuff.
work together and get it.
They're
Wow.
scared. They created waves to like break the ice. Like they're
There was
freaky.
a movie when we grew up.
Orca
The killer whale.
Yeah.
And he had a real chip on his shoulder. Although whales don't have shoulders, but
Yeah,
if
no,
he
they're
did,
scary.
he had a chip on
If
his
you-
shoulder.
If you see them in the ocean, if anyone's listening to this and they're in the ocean, Russ, like stay away.
And you're saying, Trish, Jack, they work in pairs, like Starsky and Hutch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's partners.
No, they're
yeah.
in an evil way.
Oh, for bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really.
We got to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's probably a podcast somewhere with 4 orcas or sperm whales sitting there going, talking about us, how we kill chickens and eat things like that. And we work in 4s.
Well, that's the real thing. They'd be sitting there. The killer whales, if they were doing a podcast, they're sitting there saying, "You know what the apex predator of Earth is? Humans. They
No
kill
doubt.
everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
We kill the ozone layer. We kill like
Trees.
global warming.
It's coming back. It's coming back, the ozone, they're saying.
Really?
Yeah, they are.
Yep. It's,
'Cause you know-
fixing itself.
Do you know where the number one place where the ozone layer, or the lack of ozone layer, affected most?
Is it
New Zealand?
Antarctica?
New Zealand.
No.
New Zealand, it was heavy. Like New Zealand, you had to, even on an overcast day, slap the sunscreen on because the UV rays there were pretty.
Wow.
I got to just say at the moment, my ankle is.
Sore. It's
Yeah.
bad when you've got a sore ankle, isn't it?
Can we?
Oh, no.
And you haven't torn all the ligaments, no doubt. You just rolled it.
I think I've torn a few.
Well,
there,
let's talk about Dad's injury
Yeah.
record for a second, because Dad, you did your shoulder a few weeks ago. You've been going to physio to rehab your shoulder.
So what's happened is I'm taking like supplements to help with my injuries, and it has been it's been pretty remarkable my improvement with my shoulder. And my brother Andrew takes the supplements, and he told me through the grapevine that he's running again. So yesterday I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for my first run. And
I was skeptical.
So was everyone.
Yeah.
Because the funny thing was,
Jack started with it.
Jack goes, this is the thing. And people who run often will know this. If you have a long break off running and then you say, hey, I'm going to go for a run, and you run straight on concrete, it's very bad for like your joints because you're not used to it.
Yeah,
And Jack said to Dad, Jack goes, hey, Dad, I reckon you should probably start running on grass, eh? And then what did Dad say to you?
He said, yeah, mate, I heard you. You don't think I've ever run on concrete before? And then I just went, well, sweet. But before that, the biggest fuck you was this, right? He was out the back, and he just started sort of moving around, get himself warmed up. And I'd noticed it just started raining. And I went to him like, hey, if you're going to go, maybe head off. It looks like it's going to start pissing down. It's going to start raining. And he goes, and?
Yeah, he was
Come
full.
Oh, there was a whole lot of attitude.
Okay, settle down there, Chuck Norris.
There was full of attitude. And then Trish
Well,
pulled
it's
out.
the first run I haven't had 15 years since I've ran.
Yeah.
And then Trish pulls out the phone.
I knew there was going to be a story.
Yeah,
I knew
yeah.
there was
So
gonna
she
be a
pulls
story.
out the phone, starts filming me, and I'm getting
getting the
really
shits.
irritated. As a former elite athlete, and I've got my son saying, don't run on concrete, careful of the rain. I'm thinking, please. And then Trish, like giggling away, I'm thinking, what the?
I wasn't giggling.
Trish was going, where are you going for a
I
run?
set off, way I went, flying. First 50 metres, great. Started to get a little bit weary. And then I was going past our old house, and I looked in, and I was looking what a darling job they're doing with the lawn. And I took my eye off, and then stood in a pothole and rolled my ankle.
Yeah.
May
Ring the
or may
council.
not have a stress fracture there.
It's
It's
definitely
gonna
not.
go through
It's
it.
just
And then I
ligaments.
limped back down, and they were all waiting for me, laughing and filming.
Yeah, I will say, Dad left, and then within 2 minutes he'd rung me, and I said, "You're right," and he said, "I've just rolled my ankle. I'm coming home." And then we were like, "What the hell?
We
How
ran
quick?"
out the
It was
front.
literally like out of a movie. It was so funny, and then we all just ran out in the street and watched him like hobbling
And I
hobbling
videoed
down
that too.
like a lost puppy.
As my ankle crunched underneath me, I actually I was laying on the ground holding my ankle as people were driving
Did you lay
past.
on the ground?
Yeah, I was on the ground.
You dropped.
Oh.
I dropped.
Oh, my
I was
God.
thinking to myself, well, like, okay, Trish filmed it. Like, Trish, like, is there a conspiracy going on here? Like, did she know? Like, is there some plot against?
I think it was pretty safe
I'm a bit
to
of a
know
white
that
witch.
what was about to
I
happen.
will say this though: when he came back and we tried to do some recovery of it all, Trish said straight away, "Let's get some ice on it." Well, for the listeners, I had to do my blue shirt this week, which is this year for the the SG Ball at Manly. So you have to go through these courses to quickly do it, and they teach you. Remember RISA, rest, ice, compress, elevate, etc.
Has it changed
the
now?
number one thing I used to say.
They're saying now ice is out of the equation. So
I see, I'm still skeptical about that.
I totally agree with Jack.
they say, well, I'm not. I'm not actually like my whole career. I've iced, and I thought it worked pretty good.
No,
but
I agree.
They're saying now compress and elevate.
Yeah.
Jack, every time I used to ice with injuries, at the end of it, I always go, it feels worse.
Yeah.
Like where back in the 70s and 80s, when me and Trish were growing up, it was heat. Straight away put heat in.
Oh, really?
Now, yeah, always heat. And now there's a school of thought coming back about heat.
That is in life. It's one of my pet hates. Is when you're lectured something and then over time it becomes untrue and then they're lecturing something else. I hate it.
That's everything.
I hate
That
it.
was like that sparks me with like COVID, when everyone was like, you got to get the vaccine, and now 3 years later, everyone's going, oh, shouldn't have got the vaccine. You're going to die. Shouldn't have got the vaccine.
Yeah.
And I'm going, you guys were the ones that said everyone had to get the vaccine,
Well, they
and then
made us.
people started dropping
we
like
could-
flies.
We could just go on and on about this. Full cream milk, Trish.
What's going
It was
on here?
always,
Why are you guys holding hands?
Why is holding hands?
Just holding hands.
And there goes
that?
Matthew's watch.
My
by the
watch
way.
going.
You
It's
saw
all
my
happening.
hands.
Why are you
thoroughfare.
holding Mum's hand during the podcast? That's so weird.
Why?
Was COVID a really tough time for you?
Yeah, it was. Just thinking. No, but
I'm liking
but
him
skim
holding
milk
my hand.
versus full cream. Now they're saying full cream's better. The other big one was Jack
like
was
eggs,
eggs.
everything.
Don't eat the egg yolk. Whatever you do, don't eat too many eggs. Now just go for it.
Again, I had
Cholesterol in
a
it.
strength conditioner at South Sydney when I was there. Very, very, very regimented bloke. And he said to me, because he used to be an Olympic weightlifter, that during his whole career, he would take, you had 10 eggs for breakfast. He'd take all the yolks out except one. He'd leave one in. And he said then the others would just go to waste. He goes, if I had my time again for my overall health and well-being, I would have kept all the yolks in.
Interesting how people have their one regret in life. Some people it's not marrying the right
That's
man
his.
or woman. For other people, it's not eating all the yolks. Is that a pretty good life, that is?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
That S&C.
S&C.
Why does that sound rude?
No,
Listen,
Strength and conditioner.
I know,
it
but it
stands
sounds
for.
rude.
Yeah.
There are some strange ones in the league, aren't there, Coop?
Oh, Brazzy.
There,
There are
mate.
some strange ones. I love it. They're all. It's funny how every strength and conditioner it seems like in sport, it's like they've picked them all out of the strangest town on earth, and they're all terrific people. My favorite ever,
Interesting.
DDP Dan DePasqua. Shout out to Dan DePasqua down at Melbourne. He's been down there for a long time with Craig Bellamy. He's their strength and conditioner. He is just. He's one of the funniest blokes I've ever met, but he's so quirky. He can do he's jacked up to his eyeballs. And but he also can do, he used to be a cheerleader. He was a cheerleader for a mascot basketball team. So he can do like backflips
Flips.
and things like that. And he always comes up with these funny ass quotes like, he'll do a big thing. Righto, boys, we're doing a strength and lower body session today. And he'll go, oh, and then he'll go, righto, everyone, separations in the preparation. Let's get into our warm up. It's like he's doing a whole stand up routine. It's so funny.
I had a strength and conditioner once used to say at Wigan all the time, every time you'd say something, mate, it's going to be a tough game, every time you'd go, pressure makes diamonds, Matty.
Yeah.
And then halfway through the season, I just said, for fuck's sake, fucking mate, no more pressure, no more diamonds.
Yeah. Because pressure, that's the thing. It can happen two ways. You put something under pressure, it either turns into a diamonds, but they never talk about the other option with when you put something under immense
Explodes.
pressure,
Shatters.
it just completely explodes, which happens to a lot of rugby league players.
It's true.
Yep.
A lot of people in general.
Should we move on to
I think more broadly.
but there's been a little bit of feedback from nobody, actually. I just thought it myself. Matt's predicament of the week.
I used to love
Would you
those.
like me to bring it back?
Yeah, can we let people know? It used to be Matt Dad used to have a segment, Matt's Predicament of the Week, if you've been a long time listener, where he would give us a scenario that he would have had a dream about or something like that and think, what would you do in this scenario? Yeah. I did like it. Yeah.
So something like that. It was like questioning the explanation, but okay, this one, you're an ambulance officer, okay?
Yeah, go.
And you're the only van on duty.
Okay.
You get called to an emergency. There's a man in a house 10 minutes drive away who has had a massive heart attack and time is critical. However, 2 minutes in after leaving the ambulance station, you hit a pedestrian. What you going to do?
Well, you have to stop.
What? Yeah, you
have to stop and give aid to the pedestrian.
It depends how hard I hit them as well. If it's you know.
Yeah, are they knocked out? Like, did you?
They're laying there motionless.
Oh yeah, well yeah. Well, you got to take care of them, I guess.
Yeah, what do you?
But what about the guy? Like, this person might be just a bit of a knock, might be okay. You got a person at the other end who is definitely, if you don't get there, who is definitely going to die.
Well, if it's just a knock, whack them in the ambulance. Go get your other person. And continue on.
I'm sure there's other ambulances available. I'd be
No,
really
he said there's only one.
There's only one. Unfortunately, it's a really big night. Schoolies.
Well, I'd have to go and try and assess this person, see how severe it is first.
I couldn't. Yeah,
no one person's life is worth more than another.
You can't hit a bloke and
then
he's
keep
laying
driving.
on the ground, passed out, motionless, and then drive around him.
I didn't say it was a bloke. It's a little old lady.
Okay,
Well,
well, like
even
I
worse.
couldn't hit Margaret, who lives next door, and she's sitting there with her walker bleeding out on the ground.
Yeah.
I couldn't just reverse, go around her, and leave her there to pick up someone with a heart
Let me put
attack.
this to you.
You
The
weirdo.
man who's having a heart attack is 39 years of age. Margaret's 81. I mean,
No.
really.
Hang on
see
a
you,
second.
Margaret.
Are you implying that her time's done? Are you implying that because of the age of someone, that makes their life more valuable?
Who are you to judge that?
You would have made a horrible ambulance. You would have made a horrible
Here's
God.
one. You said one ambulance. There's always a partner in there with
Yeah,
them. There's
two of
always
them.
two of them. So we'd go out, we'd assess her. If we have the equipment there to treat her and look after it, one goes there, stays with her. The other one goes off to the and then I'm sure there'd be someone there because obviously someone would have had to have rung
Stop you there, mate.
to.
Stop you there. The defibrillator is quite heavy. To get it out takes two people to get it out.
Well,
What?
it isn't.
Why would this person need a defibrillator?
They're having a heart
But
attack.
again,
Oh no, I mean the
whack
person. Yeah,
whack
there'd be
Margaret
someone
in the van.
There'd be someone that rang to assess the person having the heart attack. So there's someone to help you, but there wouldn't be one for the person that's.
Well,
yeah,
I'm
but
driving-
they'd be
I'm-
doing compressions. If he's had a massive heart attack, he's having compressions and resuscitation.
know,
So they need to stay on the job there.
Well, I'm driving on, right? I'm going to wind the window down.
cannot.
Yeah, I'm going on. I'm going to yell
Will
at
you
someone.
actually be charged?
Yeah, that's reckless. You
Yeah.
have to
Yeah,
hit
but
and
you
run.
can't leave the scene of a crime.
That's a hit and run,
They're,
bro.
they're
No.
very. They're,
No.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
penalties if they have an accident during. It's
Yeah,
very
en route.
Totally wrong. Totally wrong.
No,
It's
you-
always left up to the discretion. Did you know, a lifesaver, if there is someone drowning in the ocean and they look out and they don't feel confident, they don't have to go in there.
I understand that. That's
Yeah.
a different situation.
But Dad, you've hit someone,
With a
which
car.
makes you.
Yeah,
you're
on a road.
you're now doing. Hang on, let me speak. You're now doing a hit and run.
Yeah.
And that now, Dad, you might go and save the bloke with a heart attack. That's fine. But now, guess what? You're going to jail for hit and run, and
Yeah.
you're going to be someone's bitch.
And guess
what
what?
a sacrifice.
and possible manslaughter.
And he's the prosecutor,
Who is?
the guy whose life that you saved,
No.
who's going to throw you in
Okay,
jail.
that's very soap opera.
It's
didn't-
not
I know.
Trisha's. You
I've
can't
been
add
watching it.
details like Dad does. When we,
Just thinking, you know what? I might pull up. I don't want to go to jail and be railed.
this is how we.
Again.
Oh, word.
What?
Tongue five.
Can we just remind people at this
Sure.
point about the live John's Family podcast show
Take it away, baby.
during Magic Round this Saturday up at level 7 on the leisure deck at Queen's Wharf, 12 till 2 p.m. Come and see us.
Yeah, come and see us.
Yeah, it's free.
Don't get close. Don't get close. Like we'll have security there.
There will be a velvet rope.
Stop
if you
it.
actually go to go past it, we will fucking you.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, we do. We have our security stand there who's
And
on
it's
standby.
an open outdoor area so kids can come to. And yeah.
Yeah, but let the kids know that if they get close, they will
But
be.
there is a bar for mum and dad.
They'll be spanked. You're going to get a
no.
professional spanker there.
Hey,
God, I hate
you know,
kids.
speaking of play areas, I went past a Macca's the other day and saw one. First time I've seen one in ages. Have they gotten rid of a lot of them?
No, they. You know, a lot of them for rent reasons, like because so many people are driving through and not going into McDonald's like they used to. The play equipment wasn't made there. But I tell you what, they are bringing back I remember at my like 5th or 4th birthday, we had a McDonald's birthday. They're bringing them back, so you can actually.
Oh, what? Don't they have them anymore?
Nah, they went away for a while.
COVID probably would have stalled them.
They've just brought them back. So
Yeah,
people, if your kid's having a birthday and you want to take into McDonald's, Macca's are bringing
easy.
it back. So you can take them in there. Oh, guess what? My birthday back in the day, I still remember it. Spider-Man themed at
you were
McDonald's,
sick.
and I was sick. I wasn't well. I had the Spider-Man face paint on. Dad was the Green Goblin.
He was.
Yeah,
We had those
I
adventure
tried.
playgrounds when you get kids like taking their nappies off or doing a turd in the ball thing.
Bros. Yeah.
Oh, that's
doing
gross.
it when your kids do a turd in that ball thing. It's in there for
Well,
a month.
no kid about.
It's in there.
Yeah,
Well, I'll
thanks.
give you a predicament, Cobber. Say tomorrow, tomorrow we're going. Me and Cooper are say 4 and 5, right?
yeah,
And we're,
okay.
we're in there, and you see us playing there for about half an hour. Let's say there's about 20 kids in this massive pit, and you smell something a bit funky. You move Cooper to the left, and there it is, sitting there like a perfect swirl of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Just sitting there at the bottom of this pit. What do you do?
I grab you two boys and we leave.
Yeah.
I remember
What
once
you
I
do?
dropped
Perfect.
at Wigan. Remember when I was playing at Wigan and Trish, you had to come back to Australia for personal reasons, and you come back and I got up one day to go to training and I'm running a little bit late and I go in to get Cooper and literally he's taken his nappy off and there is
In the
shit
cot.
from head to toe.
You did that
Shit
a
all
bit.
shit. I've gone, oh no. So I've thrown him in the bath, got him, done him all up. Anyway, I've gone to the childcare centre of which Andy Farrell's mum, Mrs.
Andy
Farrell.
Farrell?
Mrs. Farrell.
Andy
Do you mean
Farrell.
Owen Farrell?
Owen's grandmother.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So his mother ran the
Creche.
daycare centre, the creche.
Yep.
And as I'm handing her over, I said, oh, I'm so sorry, Miss Farrell, I'm running really late. She said, don't worry. As I was putting your hand to her, we both looked down and there was a huge chunk of shit on the back of your hand.
How did you miss that?
I looked at her, she looked at me, and I just flicked it off and we just pretended it didn't happen.
Wow. That's
That's the grossest thing I've ever heard.
I love it. I love it. Hey, just quickly before we move off Macca's playgrounds, how old's too old to be in a playground?
Oh,
You know what I mean?
30.
Oh, I think that's a bit
It's
like
like-
on
I
your
think
own,
those little ones.
like without kids of your own. Like how old is too? Like
Yeah.
What do you mean? You're not to be in a playground?
No, I guess like you're Trisha. He's talking about going into your teens,
No, but you're talking about one in a park.
yeah, like what
Talking
age?
about-
Like a Macca's playground. Like if you were in there getting a quarter pounder and you looked into the Macca's playground,
Yeah.
and you saw obviously if you saw like an 18-year-old kid
No.
going down the slide, you'd be like, no. So what age is?
Well, the only people that should be in there are people who are supervising children, small children.
If there was a 40-year-old man with budgie smugglers and no shirt on, would you would that raise an alarm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But
You're probably I reckon 10 and under, maybe 10 and under.
so 11-year-old wouldn't be allowed.
I don't. I think even younger.
Oh, I think-
I'm saying about 7. I think 7
saying,
and under.
I'm saying 10 under.
children
but
playing.
like it can go a bit higher if you've got like a younger sibling there with you. Obviously, Like,
Oh,
But as an adult, anyone over 10, you're there supervising a
Well, should
smaller
we do
child.
it by weight? 30 kilos. Anyone over 30 kilos is not
Oh
allowed in.
no,
don't get.
no.
Film fame or vinyl? Today, it's a bit of a discussion. We're going to do it on cinema.
Oh,
Cinema.
I
You
love
are.
going to the movies. I love it.
Trisha, like, and cinema is very generational, meaning is the fact, like we talked to the boys about the 80s when we would go to the cinema. You could walk in now to a brand new release in cinemas and you might be the only person in the whole theatre. Back in the day, Trish, there were 300-metre lineups
Yeah.
to
But
get
there's-
tickets.
But also, Matt, cinemas are a lot smaller than they used to be. We used to have bigger cinemas. There were like only 3 cinemas, but they're all big. Whereas you go to a cinema now, they might have 8.
Oh, man, a lot of the
Cinemas.
cinemas, like Warriewood's a big cinema.
Yeah.
They're big cinemas.
Yeah, only the grand one.
Yeah.
no,
the
there's a
grand.
few
That's
out
what-
there. They're Hoyts has got probably like
I don't think
12.
I don't think they've ever
and they're smaller.
They've never downsized their
Not
cinema.
in your time.
Yeah.
No,
in
from
our
our-
time, mate, the ones that were built were massive, weren't they? Trish?
Yeah, they would be. And there might have only been 2 or 3 cinemas.
But
Yeah,
it
right.
sounds like without, with obviously television now and series / like television then was a lot different to,
Oh my God, yeah.
television now.
There's no
And we
streaming.
have streaming, which a lot of movies now go direct to streaming. It sounds like the cinema was a much better experience.
Of course.
Well, it still is a better experience. I say
course,
cinema's my happy place. Sometimes if I'm feeling flat, I'll just pick a movie and just go off by myself.
There's
I
a
love
couple.
it.
There's scandals going on in the cinemas at the moment. Have you read that?
Oh, I heard that with that Minecraft
So
movie.
that the new Minecraft movie come out,
Lord.
and like there's a character in it. Apparently, it's like Chicken Joe or something. I don't know, something his name.
Chicken Jockey.
Chicken Jockey, and a zombie like falls down. There's a scene where like a zombie kind of comes off the ropes and lands on this chicken, and like they call him the Chicken Jockey.
Right.
And when they say Chicken Jockey, everyone in the cinema like basically just like goes
Throws
crazy, like throws baby powder, toilet paper,
Yeah,
and
I saw a mess.
they just destroy the cinema.
So it's
Mate,
become one of those immersive experiences.
Yeah.
It's
like
like a
Rocky Horror.
It's like a
Well,
trend. No.
only
You were
people are
completely-
making it.
How you went to Rocky Horror, I'll never
I'll
know.
tell you
No, because
why in a
everyone
minute.
dances.
Oh, right. So it's like that, but people have just taken it on themselves. They all go, when they hear the word chicken, everyone goes, Chicken Jockey, and they just destroy the cinema. Like,
No way.
throw the popcorn,
it's
throw
been
it.
happening.
Like, people are they're shutting down the movie and people are getting kicked out and stuff. That's how bad it's going.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
bad.
love it, though. I love that sort of trend. Like, I love
Well,
it.
you know that cult
You know-
movie, The Room? Do you remember that? The one
Oh.
James Franco did a movie on the making of the
Yeah,
movie.
the disaster artist.
Well,
Disaster
if you go
artist.
to the cinema at Cremorne, they show it once a month. And when you go in there, people will recite the lines.
Yeah.
And when he pulls, there's something with
Spoons.
spoons, and
They
they pull the wooden spoons out. It's immersive like that, but they don't destroy the cinema.
No.
well,
Obviously, and we would
That's
never,
someone's livelihood.
we would never encourage people to defecate or destroy something.
What's the
No
weirdest,
one's doing that in there, are they?
Unless it's-
What's the weirdest thing you've seen in a cinema? Because I hate it when something happens in the movie and people clap. So, like the last time I think I saw it was I went and saw Jurassic World when it first. Can you remember the first sort of comeback after they had the big break from all the Jurassic movies?
Yeah.
And at the end, the T-Rex roars, and for some reason, I had that bad a secondhand embarrassment. The whole cinema just started applauding, and I was like, "Who are they applauding to?"
Yeah, when they went for the
The
rat
T-Rex.
tart,
The
they were all-
T-Rex? Like,
yeah.
who gives a shit?
You do get secondhand embarrassment
Oh.
a lot, don't you?
Do you know,
we
like-
give it to you a lot.
The original Joker, there was a bit of that going on at the end when sort of he was dancing. People were like whooping up.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Dr. Dre.
I don't know. I got a frog stuck in my throat, and I was trying to say yeah.
First movie you
Oh,
remember.
hang on. I've
Sorry,
got something
Trish.
weird. I didn't see this, thank God, but I heard about it. People we know, they were the only people, a couple.
Yep.
They were the only people in the cinema, and they had sex in the cinema.
Yep.
That's not the worst bit. The movie they went to see was The Lion King.
Yeah.
Oh no,
That is
I made
not
love
right.
it. I made love in that as well.
Stop it.
Yeah, no. I actually wrote that down when Jack said that just then. I watched people not have sex, but they got to second base.
What?
Yeah. So they were like,
What? I
what
didn't
is
know
second-
that
Yeah, what
Lion
is-
King
What's
was
second
aphrodisiac.
base? Heavy petting.
so if you, Like, so if
Yeah.
you get to first base, you're kissing. You get to second base,
We're touching.
we're just doing hand stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
You get to third base, you start to bring some other instruments into it,
Oh, is that what that is?
and then and then
didn't know my
not
bases.
instruments as in like other objects, like
right.
instruments as in you're using more than your hand.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha,
I
gotcha.
thought you were talking about like banjos.
And then you end up around you hit a home run, like you're making babies. No, what?
No,
Sorry.
No.
what did you say?
No, ignore what he said.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
We won't read.
I thought because when you said third base, I thought you said that third base and then fourth base. I thought, well,
Yeah, it's
there's
all
a fourth
confusing.
base
No,
and
no, no.
obviously-
It is,
much,
yeah,
yeah.
it's very blurry.
But
Sorry, guys.
do you know what else was something weird that I saw in the cinema? Okay, this is not something I saw in the cinema. This is something I did in the cinema, and I want to get your judgment on it because
don't make me be ashamed.
no, it's not
go
actually
shit
that
in-
bad.
Please
It's
Please
not
don't
actually
shit
that bad.
popcorn.
Similar to how Dad, if he was in the side of the road, he'd pull over and he used to piss in his cowboy boot. So
Not for fun.
if I'm in a good movie,
Necessity.
so one of my favorite movies ever to watch in a cinema was Avengers Endgame, and I watched it 4 times in cinema. And the first time I didn't want to leave the cinema so bad because I was enjoying it so much. So in my large like Pepsi that I was drinking, I just went to the back of the cinema, took a knee, acted like I was stretching my hip flexor, and I urinated in it.
yeah, you did that in the Robbie Williams one as well, if you remember.
Oh,
Yeah, I
you
did do that.
I was going, where's he gone?
Yeah,
He kept
yeah.
rotating seats.
I wasn't there.
No, you
That's
weren't
when
there.
you went the second
We were
time.
sitting
It was
there
an empty cinema.
Yeah.
So shout out to Robbie Williams filling seats at the local cinema.
and to be Roy.
Yeah. Well, but I do drop a knee quite often and urinate in my cup,
Drop an E.
and then I just go and throw it in the bin.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw
obviously.
maybe he was going backwards and forwards. I said, what's he doing? I never know what you're doing.
I never know what you're doing back there.
What would you like to go to next, Colin?
I'll say this. Is there ever been, what's your best cinema experience? The movie that you went and just went, oh, wow. Trish, I remember when the Hoyts was open in Newcastle, the brand new Hoyts, just around the corner from your place, when I saw Empire Strikes Back. It was like an hour and a half wait.
And it was a grand theatre too, the
It
big
was
staircase up.
Incredible.
Earthquake
And
put an end to that.
The Empire Strikes Back, there was like line up. You had to wait an hour and a half to get into the cinema.
Wow.
That was insane.
Yeah.
You know what? I remember? We went, we must have been 2011 because the movie 2012 came out. Now, do you remember in the middle of the movie, there was a blackout?
Yes.
I've
was
never forgotten
freakish.
that. And it was like as
That's right,
sort
we're
of
all there
shit was
together.
going down in the movie, it was
Yeah.
like, the world's ending. And it went full blackout.
We
And everyone,
did.
all the people in all the
We all
cinemas
went,
had to all walk out. What'd you do, Trish?
That's scary.
That's
That
what
is-
We all
I-
did think it was part of the movie. Everyone went, oh, wow.
Yeah, I reckon they did that as a promotion. My favorite experience at the movies, Avengers Endgame. I just talked about it then, but I dead set watched that movie. I've never watched a movie so much in cinema in my life.
Never seen it.
And at the time, we were sponsored by a cinema at the Storm, so we had these cinema passes, so we could go and get 2 free tickets to any movie at any time of the day.
Awesome.
So I went back. I watched the ticket, went straight back, did it again, watched it twice in one day, and then the next week went back again. It was crazy. I was on my own too.
I
I
might
was
watch it tonight.
It was good, but the problem is, Cobber.
You need to have
you
watched the others.
There's like 23 movies you got to watch that leads into it.
Gotcha.
And,
Yeah.
and then one major 3-hour movie, and then that itself is like a 3-hour,
Yeah, gotcha.
20-minute movie. It is, once you're
Sold it to
invested and you've invested time into it,
Yeah.
it is a great experience.
What about you, Trish? You love the movie so much. Sorry.
love
Sorry, I've just...
All good, all
Sorry,
good.
You can
sorry,
tell.
I've just snapped you off there, mate. I was just glazing over.
when dad's into some shit topic like remember the movies when we were at Newcastle, and you can't cut him off, but as soon as dad's not interested in you talking about Marvel Cinematic Universe, he just cuts you right
I was
off.
going to say, Jack, I get it. I haven't watched the previous 24.
Enough.
Trish, your cinema experience?
I'm going to say A Star Is Born. That's my most recent. It just you
cried.
It just impacted me.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
cried.
emotionally. Yeah.
That's a good
I
song.
thought it was a great movie,
Yeah.
and I went with Coops,
Ever walked
and it
out
was
in a movie?
lovely. Yes, a number.
Yeah, I'm going to get a blind draft.
Yeah. But have you...
Yeah, I've walked out. You know where I walked out? We actually talked about this the other day. And we had the free tickets at this stage still, Holmes and Watson, which is that Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly one.
I've heard it's bad.
It was so bad. We went with a group of the boys and everybody left because it was so
I
embarrassing.
saw that Ricky Gervais movie where there's one where he's a ghost, and then there's one where the invention of lying. It was one of those two bludgers, and I think it might have been the ghost one where he dies and he sees
Yeah.
talks, and I
didn't mind that.
Yeah,
It was love.
I didn't mind
I
that.
thought it
Yeah.
was a bit of a budget.
I didn't mind it.
I've walked out of a few. The Little Shop of Horrors
Yeah.
and Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura 2.
Pet Detective.
We
Oh, was
walked
it?
out
Yeah,
of
I was like, ugh.
That's right. I remember you saying that, but
I'd rather shoot myself.
blind
Just
draft.
Just 1 second,
I
Jack.
think-
One more thing.
Can I
One more
cut
thing.
you off now?
Yes, you can.
Let him
A
go.
second. I've got here, to finish with the Film of Fame vinyl, I've got the 5 highest grossing cinema releases of all time. Everyone go across. I'm going to give you a chance to see if yours is in the top 5. Coops.
Or cinema grossing?
Oh, gross.
I reckon it's one of those superhero ones.
Yeah, it absolutely
Isn't
is.
Avengers
Which one?
Oh,
of Endgame?
Endgame is right. Third most money taken in cinema history, 2.8 billion.
Wow.
2.8 billion. So
Jack?
you got one, Jack.
It'd be Avatar, the original.
Avatar, the original, was number 1, 2.95 billion.
how is
Trish.
Titanic?
Excellent, Trish. Titanic's number 4,
Yeah.
2.3 billion.
Can we try to get them all?
So
Go
hang
on.
on. So hang on.
Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah, is Avengers Infinity
Mate,
War in it?
That's the
Hold on
same
a second, we're going too
director.
quick.
Hang on.
Okay, so the three of you are right at the moment.
Wow.
There are 2 left. Okay.
Okay.
You have a
We
guess.
just asked again. There was another Avengers in there?
No, there's not.
Okay.
Oh.
Was Avatar 2?
The Way of
The Way
Water.
Way of the Water is right, 2.4 billion, and there's one more. Give us one more.
It'll be another. Oh,
It's got to be. Is
Up,
it like a big block?
Science fiction.
Right.
Spider-Man?
No, it's not science fiction.
oh, it's not like a Star Wars thing.
Star Wars, Tricia.
Oh, The Force Awakens.
Yep, 2.1
That's the
billion.
one.
What's
Wow.
interesting about this, when you talk about the greatest cinema or directors of all time, you go Spielberg,
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola, all those guys, Martin
And it-
Scorsese. 3 of those are James Cameron.
That's what I was going to say. He did
insane.
Avatars and he did Titanic.
No plural, Trish. Avatar.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
get into blue people.
She was oh wow, the Smurfs.
I know I tried
the
to
Smurfs
watch
will
it.
be
Oh,
the
please.
Smurfs will be happy to hear that. The Smurfs will be happy to hear that.
Sorry about that.
To end it,
Smurfs would be happy to do that.
end us, let's go with blind draft now, guys. I've gone away from the movie theme.
Yep,
I've
thank God.
decided let's do blind draft Tigers next halves signing.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank
okay,
you.
interesting.
I'm
This-
not going to have any idea.
Are you not into it?
Trish,
You can have
back
your say,
yourself,
Trish. You
babe.
can back yourself. You've got instincts. You can't teach that or learn it. Okay, here we go. Blind draft Tigers next half signing. Now, first one I've gone with.
Can I just ask, of all of these players that you're about to name, are they
Available.
coming off contract?
They're all current players that, yes, some are coming off contract, but others may be moving sometime soon.
Okay.
So
Or
they might
rumours.
be able to get out of their contract.
There's speculation that they might want to move
God, this
or whatever.
is juicy. We're going to make some enemies here. Great.
Okay, awesome. First one, Daly Cherry Evans. Where does he sit? And now number one is the most likely that you think. And
No.
then 5.
Okay.
I don't think he's
Look,
going to the
I think
Tigers.
given Daly's age, I'll say.
Oh mate,
Sorry, mate. Don't be an ageist.
don't hang.
I'll say.
I was going to say 3.
I was
I'll
going to say
say-
4.
Trish, I'll go 4.
Oh,
4?
right.
Okay, can you keep track for me? The next one, Isaiah Katoa.
Where's he currently?
He's Isaiah Katoa is at the Redcliffe Dolphins. They're saying that but okay, let's just pretend that he's up for grabs. I go number 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Brilliant young footballer.
That's on the back of speculation that he wants to come back to Sydney. That's all I'm
now,
saying.
they've said absolutely nothing in it, and he said as well. But
I
you know,
think
who
that's
knows?
an early giveaway
Can
to
I just
number
ask
one
for a
position,
second?
Matthew.
I'm a little bit lost. Maybe some of the listeners are. Is this in likeliness or just in who we think they should go after?
Whatever you want.
No. Doesn't
No,
have
in
to be-
likeliness, I reckon.
if all of a sudden, like basically, if you're a Tiger supporter and you've got the choice, let's pretend that these guys
So this
are available.
this is just on if you were in charge of the Tigers, who you would go after.
Yep. If we're
Okay.
sitting at a retention meeting, for instance. Okay, I say Isaiah Katoa number 1. That's all right. I'm happy with you, blokes.
I got no
You-
idea.
Oh,
What do you think,
shit,
Pip?
I don't care. I'll go number 1. I don't give a shit. I'll go number 1. Sure.
Okay,
Because
next
Dad's
one.
so passionate about
Yeah,
it.
it is.
Adam Reynolds.
See, Renault, it's age again. Where did we go, Dally?
4.
I'll
Probably
go 3. I'll go 3.
I'd probably go him. He'd be
I'm
below.
at 5.
I'd go
I don't
5.
think he's coming back.
Yeah, at least
He's
I don't.
happy
I
where
don't
he
think he'll
is.
play past this year.
Shout out to the Reynolds family.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't
Sorry.
Okay,
12.
Next
Yeah.
one.
5.
Toby Sexton.
Where's he now?
Yeah.
3.
I'll go 3. He's at the Bulldogs and a player who has improved pretty dramatically in the last 12
Yeah.
months.
But they're doing well there, aren't they?
Doing fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think the Tigers won't go for an older half. They don't. They've got Jerome there as their older half. They want someone young,
Well, I think Toby could be the
potentially.
Toby. Yeah,
That's why he's number 3.
Yeah, sure.
Partner Jerome's a good halves combo.
Right.
Okay.
Number 2.
Number 2, you've locked in. Now, this is on speculation about clauses in his contract. I've gone with Mitchell Moses.
Oh, wow! And you know what? I think we sit. I'm really happy with how this blind draft sits.
Wow.
Isaiah
Number 2.
Katoa number 1 will be. You could lock him in as a career halfback. Have his whole career there, and he'd win you a couple of comps. Mitchell Moses, the peak of his powers, and we go down the line. Sex Bomb, 1 tier down at the moment from Moses. Got more tomorrows, and the 2 old blokes at the end. I think we've nailed it.
2 old blokes at the end. Yeah. I'm with you. I think I don't think if Reynolds or Ches are going, I think they're going to. They wouldn't go to the Tigers. I can't imagine. Right?
I think it's
I can't imagine.
travel.
All right, well-
why wouldn't you? Why DCE? If
I just wouldn't
DCE
think so.
leaves, what's your gut feel, Coops? If he leaves, where do you think he'll go?
I don't have I literally don't even have an opinion on it. I think that. I mean, all the noise is Roosters, right?
And I think that fits.
I
Because I,
think-
don't think he's going to want to uproot his kids from school.
I'd say Roosters or Dolphins. They're the only
I
two
think
that
Roosters.
I kind of look at and go, they're the 2.
I think Roosters, and Likey Galvin, I think Dogs.
Oh, really?
I think they're, in my mind, they're odds on.
I will tell you right now.
Is
I
that
don't, you know
why?
who I don't like as a combination? Burton and Galvin. I don't like that one bit.
Why?
They're too similar. They wouldn't work well together, in my opinion.
Oh, that's interesting.
Sexton works well with Burton now because Sexton's willing to do the clean stuff. Like, he'll kick the corners, he'll maneuver him around the park, allowing Burton to do his thing. Galvin and Burton, they're too similar.
Could-
I wouldn't have them together.
It's very interesting. I think you got a very good point there, but there's a young guy coming. Well, they've got Sexton there at the moment. They might not move Sexton on, and there's a young guy coming through. I'm trying to think of his name.
Yeah, but then what do they do with Burton?
Yeah. Well, I'll wait for this. I maintain this about Burton and Galvin. I don't like Galvin's not a 7, of course, but he's not a pure 6. He reminds me as a hybrid between a 6 and a 13. As a young player, he reminds me so much of what Wade Graham was when he was 18, coming into the first grade side at Penrith as a 6. I think as Lockie Galvin's career starts to go on, as he gets older, he'll thicken up, and I can see him playing like an old-fashioned playmaking 13. I see Lockie as a hybrid between a 6 and a 13. Great runner of the football, very tough, better as a short ball player than a long ball player.
I have to.
So if
I
he
disagree.
was to go there, okay, no
I disagree.
problem.
Each are entitled to their opinion. Maybe in the 80s or 90s he would have, but in the modern game, no, I don't agree. I think he'll always stay as a half.
Guys,
But I love your opinion.
Too much football chat.
Okay, sorry, Trish.
I'm almost falling asleep.
Sorry,
Trish.
Yeah,
Is there anything
finish
else?
with Trish's 60 seconds?
Don't worry about me.
Now let's save it for next week. We've been going. We've been going hard out, and I love it. I love give you another week to rant. You little beautiful mama. Is there any feedback recommendations?
Trish,
for me?
recommendation? Anything on TV?
There's just a little bit of feedback that I'll. Greg asked if we had other names for the boys picked out, if they were girls, and we didn't have any girls' names because we knew early on with both of them that they were boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jack was always Jack, although you did throw up Elvis.
I did, yeah.
Fuck, I would have hated
I
that.
know, right?
Mate, talk about getting bullied in school.
I know, and
Jesus
Cooper, I
Christ.
did throw up Jamil.
Thank you very much.
I remember you guys nearly said
Jamil, I threw up.
Yeah.
Jamil Hopewadi.
Jamil,
Yeah.
I like the
Wow,
name
wow.
Jamil. I ended up getting Cooper from the telephone book to our younger listeners. It was a thing that we used to have a big, thick book which had everybody's surnames in it. So I got your name, Cooper,
From a surname.
from a surname.
And there was a TV show at the time which was very popular called Hangin' with Mr. Cooper.
Right.
I can
okay.
play the jingle at the
I'd
top.
rather you not.
Yeah, okay.
I'd rather
No
you
worries then. Have a good week.
Hang
Trish,
on,
anything else? Go on.
yeah, just one more. Curtis, this is great. Is a long-time listener, and he's now living down the road from where Christopher Columbus' old hometown was in Genoa.
Are you joking?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He lived in Queensland and has moved to Northern Italy.
You're joking.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And he also pointed out that other things Genoa is famous for is pesto
Yes.
and the first modern
Excellent.
bank, the Bank of St.
is
George.
it?
And I fact-checked that because I wasn't sure of it, and he's actually correct.
An excellent-
1407.
And something else,
Pesto's a
something
good sort.
quite interesting too. A little fun fact before we finish for all the people around the Northern Beaches. Mason Mount is one of the best soccer players in the world. Plays for Manchester United. His sister lives in Collaroy.
Are you joking?
No,
Who knew?
I'm not.
Mason Mount.
Strange
Wow.
world.
How do you know
small
that?
world. Hey,
How do you know that?
Dad knows everything around our area.
don't
right?
worry. I keep my
Finger to the pulse.
nose close to the ground.
You should run.
ear,
You
ear
should
to the
run,
ground.
with the whole Parliament stuff
You
coming up.
dog.
You should run for local mayor. You'd be good at it.
Well, that would be local.
If something,
This is federal. As we had a discussion, the upcoming election is federal.
I know. But like I said, just with the election coming up, I said Dad should run for local mayor. I
just a
wasn't saying
request. If I ever come up with the idea of running for
Politics.
local government or politics,
Put you
I
down.
give you the permission to get a claw hammer from Bunnings and sneak up behind me when I'm not watching and just bludgeon me over the back of the head with it.
I'll be using this in a court of law, this audio.
I don't think you're allowed to.
I will do what I...
Thanks,
See,
guys.
people, have a
Do
great
well.
week. End.